Back with the doggers. Faithy was waiting for me. Good girl, Faithy. Here comes Rambo. How do you deal with mother pain? You know, in many ways, my mum's a good mum. It's funny how we put good or bad on mum. In many ways, my mum has a lot of love to offer. But she's not been normal. She's not a normal individual. What is normal? I mean, I know I'm not. Is that because of my upbringing? Is it because of my genetics? Everybody wants to be accepted where they're at and who they are. But when you're the child of not normal, it can feel like your needs weren't met. Which is exactly how it feels. So when you're put in a situation caring for your elderly mum, and you've always felt your needs weren't met, and they have more needs than normal, you can feel very resentful because you're giving out of an empty bucket. But it's not completely empty, and that's the confusing thing, because it's had her type of love put in it. And that has validity, that love, apparently. But when you feel you've missed out on safety and care and emotional protection and multitude of things, that love just feels like still can feel like the empty bucket, because it's all she was able to give. And in some ways you could say she's compensated for it, because the love she does give is so beautiful and so loving. But it's like it's not a trade-off. You can't go, like you can mentally say, oh, well, she gives me that love. But your heart still has need and had need. And you feel, oh, a butterfly. And you feel, you can feel really sort of guilty for her love not being enough. Or because it doesn't fill the bucket, doesn't fill the spot. Because all those areas that you didn't have it are screaming out. They're like destitute children inside you. And every day, because I'm living with Mum, I have a meltdown of some sort. And I don't want to. It doesn't do my stress levels any good either. But it's because I'm constantly working at this. I'm constantly trying to cope. She's not seeing what's happening underneath. No one is. This constant effort to be loving, stay loving, remain calm, remain patient. And then often at the end of the day, today it was the beginning of the day. Oh my goodness, great to start. But yeah, it's always been so hard. Always been so hard to want to visit Mum even, want to be around her. And yet she's always given so much love. Her love, which is adoration, Oh, my girls are so beautiful. I love my girls. Verbal, I guess. Verbal, and which is real. It's an expression of her affection. And there's many people that would say they never got that. And they could be very, very jealous and think, well, you got that. Isn't that enough? Why can't you just be grateful for being like a spoilt little brat? And believe me, I think the same thing. But it doesn't make me stop triggering to my needs not being met. Because it's not my needs just now. It's my needs always. Because if you don't get those things healed and those needs met, you're still like that little kid on the inside in an adult's body. And that's what a trigger really is, I guess. When something from some nerve gets touched. Something from the inside. What is that tree speaking to me? Reminds me of Mum. It's like all the leaves are at the bottom, and then at the top there's all these dead branches, or what look like dead branches. That's kind of what it feels like. An abundance of love, an abundance of something, and totally desolate in your arms and the legs and the areas that need, in order to walk daily, that need the blood to the extremities, you know? And you can't live like that, or you just don't cope. This is very loud at the moment, and my doggy is being naughty. Faithy, stop! Hey! Faith! No! 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 Ah! No! Ah! No! Oh, tempting. And so, my obvious response, because I'm close to Mum, is to say, Mum, I'm hurting. Mum, I need this. Mum, help. Mum, I can't live like this. Mum, please don't do that. Mum, when you do that, that feels like this. Because she just shuts down. She's shut down on the inside, and so she's never given emotional support and love. And it's such a catch-22 because she's 93 and I'm wanting her to change and be what I need because I'm living with her and because I love her and I want her. I want her. I want what I missed out on. And it's beautiful dragonflies. I want it and I can't make myself stop wanting it. I can't make myself stop wanting it. You know, my counsellor says she's 93, she's not going to change. I think, well, how does that help me? I know that. That's the fact. You're dealing with facts. Or maybe I don't know it because I keep still trying. But the reason I do try is because I'm desperate. I'm desperate to ease the pain. It's not just pain too. I mean, it is pain, but it affects me physically. It affects me with PTSD because I wonder if a lot of it's to do with a love deficit. Losing the strength to carry everything in life because I didn't have a good start. I didn't have my emotions, I was going to say catered to. That sounds really... Anyway, I'm not going to judge myself, but I didn't have my emotions, and I'm going to say catered to, but what I mean is nurtured and taken care of. You know, in a way, I was emotionally abandoned. So what do you do with it? What do you do with these feelings? I pray, I go to God. I think getting my feelings out, feeling the emotion and what's underneath it maybe, But it's not always easy to access that, because you live on the surface like everybody, and I can think, oh, she just makes me angry, because you see what's in front of you and you think that's what's making the problem. That's what's causing the problem. And you don't see that it's the issues and the areas inside you that are much deeper than that, that are long-standing. And, you know, they say you've got to feel to heal. And how do you feel those things when they're buried away from childhood? I mean, they're right there in front of you. They're not buried that far. But maybe because no one listened, no one was there for you, you shut them down and you don't access them easily. And they've turned to anger, or they've turned to resentment. They've turned into all these other things. Exterior things that you've done, or that I've done to try and cope, that I've allowed him, you know, that, like anger and resentment. And I've got to give them a new name and call them what they are, but it all looks too big. It all looks too big. Like, she's 93, but I'm 63. Is it time for me to start looking at these things now? How can I face them? How can I feel them? How can they be healed? It's like this never-ending journey when I just want peace in my environment. I don't want to be in another situation where I'm having to grow. You know, you get to a point where you're like, can I just have some rest from opportunities to face my life, face what's going on underneath? Why is this so important? It's almost like it's important to God. Why? Why does it have to be? Can't it just stop at some stage? Or maybe this is the last round trip before coming to that place that I want to come to, because Mum will be gone and I'll have dealt with my issues, many of them maybe, while she's alive, rather than when she's gone. When they are hidden, they go back down. And I mean, you know, when my dad died, it took me 10 years to just cry over him dying, because there was nothing that was bringing up the pain anymore, like when he was alive and I'd visit and it was there in my face. When he was gone, it was a relief. It was such a relief. For context, both my parents were not the ideal parents. There was a lot of abuse. But they were also the normal middle class, loving, providing parents, because it was all about just providing a home and providing Christmas gifts and providing clothing and providing food. And there was a lot of care that went into that from their perspective, I would say. But they sure didn't think through their emotions when they dished out discipline and made decisions. You know, it was really scrappy. There's a lot of abuse and a lot of dictatorship and strictness, and I don't even want to talk about it. It's horrible. I've got a very good memory. I just go back there so easily. And then when you've had that, and then you're dealing with your mum at the end of her life, it's like, don't piss me off more, woman. That's it. You just think, don't frickin' piss me off more. I'm not interested in the bullshit, okay? I've had a life full of it. And so the little things become the big things because you've had to deal with it. You've had to deal with it and the big things you've had to be exposed to the bullshit for so long that the little things are just like tip you over the edge. Faith thinks she can chase after. Faithy! No! Come here! Ah! No! Yeah, so... No! Good girl. Good girl, baby. You did as you were told. Yay! Had to learn one of these years. So that's where I'm at, and I'm at a bit of a loss. I'm tired. I'm so bloody tired of all this bullshit you got to go through. Personally, you know, all the issues of the heart and not just the issues of the heart, the circus in this life, the circus of the emotional circus, the circumstantial circus. I'm so tired from years of having to do battle. And I mean, there's more to it than that. I'm doing battle in other ways too. It's never just one thing, is it? And often it's the other things that affect your relationships because you're not coping with them. And then you think that it's all about them because they're the nearest thing to you. But there's other things that I'm going through as well. They all make their own impact. They all have impact. And it's too much. I don't want it. So I'm about to go past this thing again. It's going to be really loud and I'm probably going to have to yell and scream at Faith again to not chase it. So just hang in there while I walk past because I want to keep talking so that I can cope with walking because it takes my mind off the heat. Good girl, Faithy. Good girl. You did more poo-poos. Hey? It's only a little dribble. And it was soft, I'm not picking that up. I mean, as in squirty. Sorry to be so detailed, but I am picking up squirty poo. For no one. What you doing? Eating grass. Is that because you're doing squirty poos? Well, if you're going to vomit it before we get in the car. Come on. Leave the grass alone. You right, Remy? He's 12 now, so he's not as active suddenly. Like in the last 6 months, maybe he's picking up on my vibes. But I'm doing all right with more walks every day at the moment, thank God. It's the only thing that's keeping me going, really. Well, God, and my walks, but the thing is, you know, is in prayer and stuff. But this is where I do meet with God. Here, this is like my church. This is my church. I don't have a church, as in building with walls. This I consider God's church and my church. Oh, I love those 4 trees. Actually, there's 5. Just so beautifully set apart from each other. So yeah, mothers and fathers, oh boy, but the concentration is on mother at this time. I did my years of father hurt and growth and working through all that pain, and that was a lot. But I think my mum might be autistic. She's definitely on the spectrum, I would say. She just acts strange. Can't keep still. Maybe ADHD, like I am. I've been diagnosed with, I should say. Don't like calling myself something. But she just cannot stay still. And she's either talking out loud all the time. I'm someone, because of PTSD and ADHD, I need peace. I need stillness, I need quietness. And to listen to someone, it's like my nerves. She takes me out of that place of rest, that place of peace, by her constant talking to herself about problems. You know, it'll be like, okay, so now I'm going to do this, and where's my keys? Where's my purse? Where's my glasses? They might be in there. What will I do? How will I find that? Oh dear, oh my God, where are they? Where are they? Oh God, where are they? And I'm like, shut up, shut up, shut up. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Don't share your stresses with me. I got enough going on inside my own life, my own head, that I'm trying to stay calm about. So it's like an anxiety disorder that she's sharing, you know? And you wonder I grew up like this because that's all she did. She was just vocal. Bang, bang, crash, bang. She was always banging and crashing, doing housework and go on, outside's for kids. Go on, outside's for kids. But it was this startle. You were constantly being startled. You're on alert. Angry. She was angry. Oh, bloody hell. And then she'd call out to Dad. Bow! She'd thump the floor so that he'd come up for lunch. Bow! And you'd go, oh. Why does she have to talk in that tone? And it's just constantly on your nerves. And she has mellowed with age. But what she forgets is we were there. We were subject to the bullshit. We were subject to the arguments and the fights. We had to be amongst that. And they were our parents. So I'm not talking about not forgiving, although that might be part of it. I'm talking about the result, the consequences, the effects that had on our nervous systems, or mine anyway. My nervous system was shot as a child, and I'm supposed to get through life. I listened to fighting every day. I listened to her carry on, and you'd go out for a nice day, and she'd always get in a mood about something, and the attention and the focus had to be on her, because she'd walk off. And by the time we got to adult years, it was like, oh, where's Mum? I don't know, she's hiding in the car, or she's under that tree, and she's sniffing and crying. And you just thought, oh, you're pathetic. You know? You just felt like she was pathetic. And I'm not saying it was anything drastic that she went through. Someone may have said something that hurt her, and she'd go off. But it's almost like she looked for it, because she loved the drama and the attention. That's what it looked like. And I know that's a judgment, but that's what it looked like. That's what I grew up feeling. You know? It's like, oh, what's wrong with her this time? You could never have a family day out without her performing in some way. Going off in a hurt state. And the thing is that people did say hurtful things to her because they were angry. They were angry. It was like a catch-22. There was so much resentment towards her because of how hard she was. And she was always able to cry. Oh, she was hurt. She was allowed to cry. But when you were hurt and you cried, it was like, oh, you'll be right. You know? So how's a kid supposed to grow up going, oh, poor mum, when she's not been, like, nice to you? Or it was spasmodic, because there was times she was very nice to me, and it had to do with lollies and cakes, and her emotions. Like, oh, look, come here, my little darling. Aren't you cute? I love you. Would you like some cakeys? Would you like this? Would you like that? About giving. She's very giving. And next minute, another day, you'd ask her for the same thing. She'd say, no. And you go, please, I want them. She'd go, no, you're not having them. You think, why is she not the same? Why is she so unpredictable? And obviously she had a lot going on in her own life. But as a kid, you don't get that. Well, you do, you see it. But you don't understand why it affects your parents towards you. Why one minute you feel loved and next minute you're not. One minute she's soft and next minute she's hard. And you're getting smacks all the time for the same thing that you got away with yesterday and she even thought was cute. You know? There was no stability. There was no sameness. There was no saneness. And then Dad in the middle of it, I don't want to talk about him too much, but his insanity from being in the war and having a total breakdown and turning from a gentle giant to a beast, becoming this aggressive, nasty, cruel figure that would do things like drive fast and then snigger because he saw us all scared. He would snigger. Anyway, I've gotten over a lot of that, thank God. I think I've got over it. It's far in the past, put it that way. But this is all fresh because every day I wake up to my mum walking her little trolley across the lounge room and looking at her and going, oh God, you annoy me. What is it about you that I just can't deal with? Oh, everything? Everything. But sometimes I can push it down and cope with it, and other times it all comes out sideways. I just can't live with it. Can't deal with it because I'm sick of your attention-seeking ways. To me, it's just attention-seeking. Constant attention-seeking. From the wrong people. Okay, so she didn't get attention growing up. We're not her parents to give her attention. And we needed it. And need it. Maybe not attention, just love. We don't want to be the ones giving it to a grown woman when we've had to our whole life, you know? Oh, it's up to 28 minutes. It's going to take a while to download. So here I am back at the car. I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.